What's up, guys? TheDevildogGamer here, and today we're talking about the Crowz Squad Operation Beta. Now, what you're watching here is the trailer, and I never even heard about this game until I saw the trailer a few months ago, and I said, oh, hell yeah, this looks awesome, dude, because we've been having a bad gaming drought, and any sort of kind of like game like this, right up my alley, dude. Like, people were describing it as Squad, but with like Tarkov customization and things like that. And I'm like, dude, I can get behind that. Like, that sounds like a cool kind of premise. You know, it's from, I think it's a Korean developer, kind of came out of left field, out of nowhere. Trailer looked great, you know, we're all kind of hoping Battlefield is going to be good, World War III, and then all of a sudden we get Crowz, and we're like, all right, come on. Because, I mean, everyone's kind of bored with Tarkov right now. Anyway, so the more games we have, the better. Now, this beta actually kind of snuck up on me, because I got access to it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to play it the next day, because it released at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'll play it the next day. I need my dad's sleep. Well, it was only available for a few hours, so I actually couldn't sleep that night and played it, you know, in the middle of the night, basically, only for a few hours that it was live for. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. This trailer looks fantastic. It makes everything about this game look great. And then I played it, and oh my god, the game itself feels like I'm playing a mobile game. There's plenty of customization for your operator, plenty of customization when it comes to your guns and things like that, but the gunplay and the movement and everything itself, and heck, even the graphics, feels like a mobile game. It really does. I didn't really get the experience that I saw in the trailer. It's one of those things, you know, you see the trailer, looks great, you know, you're like, all right, it's gonna be cool, and then you get into it and it's like, what the hell is this, man? Like, I was pretty disappointed. I only played one round, and I was like, I'm not staying up for this. I'm going back to bed. The gunplay itself just straight up, like, you know, you can have a difference. You can switch between first and third person, which is already kind of blah. Like, that's, you know, for a multiplayer game, competitive, third to first is kind of crap. Like, that's not a great way to do anything to begin with. And then you shoot the guns, and the bullets fly out, kind of like, you know, we've been having this with so many games lately where it feels like the bullets are Nerf darts. You see in the tracers, and they look like they're going the speed of smell. It's like, good lord, dude. Like, what are we doing here? Now, I'll give it to them. The character models look great. The map was kind of pretty well designed, but overall gameplay was just, it felt like a mobile game. The guns had weird little recoil, the bullet issues. There's tons of customization when it comes to the weapons, though. I mean, you can straight up, you know, do canted sights and things like that if you want to do a canted, RMR, things like that. You have that ability to, and you can customize the look of your operator, you know, quite a bit. So there's a lot of customization and things like that, so they kind of got that going for it. But, like, overall, the gameplay was, man, put this back in the oven. Like, let this sucker cure for a little longer. It is undercooked, because if this were to release like I played it, it's not going to go anywhere. I can promise you that. It's just, especially with Battlefield out, World War III, it's not going to happen, Captain. You know, maybe for the Korean market or the Asian market, sure. I mean, you know, plenty of games like Crossfire and all that stuff are super popular, but, you know, for, you know, US, European markets, nah, not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So, like, even the vehicles, like, there's the helicopters, like Little Birds, and there were tanks. Tank controls and everything kind of felt just really, really whack, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like a tank. It didn't feel like it had any weight to it or anything. It was just kind of there, you know what I mean? But the chopper was the worst. The chopper controls were absolutely horrendous. Trying to, like, shoot anything on the ground with the chopper was horrible. And, dude, overall, the experience was just not what I wanted. Not what I expected from the trailer. The trailer, you know, it made it look fantastic. But then, you know, you actually jump in and you play it, and it's like, all right, well, that's not what I expected. After putting a lot of time in Battlefield 2042 and then also into the new version of World War III, this doesn't compare and isn't really a competition. I think they would have to do some overall general changes to the game, especially when it comes to the gunplay, the recoil, movement system, things like that. Vehicles, I mean, if they're not even going to bother trying to make them work, like even the chopper itself was terrible, don't even put them in. Like, it's just not worth the effort. or the time. But the gunplay itself, like, if they could change that, I think it could possibly gain some traction. But the gunplay in its current form is just very, I don't know, Fortnite-ish almost. Like, if you got Fortnite and, you know, with some gun customization, that's basically what you're kind of working with at that moment. And that's kind of how it felt. But I don't know, like, it was not really what I expected at all, and my excitement for the game itself is just kind of gone down the drain doing this. And, you know, I always expect, you know, I've played a lot of betas and a lot of closed alphas and just a lot of different things in my time doing YouTube, gotten access to games well before any of you even heard about them. And, you know, you always get the people that are like, oh, it's beta, it's an alpha, it's going to change. They never do, dude. They never do. I played some AAA games before that were well into pre-development. Like, we're talking, like, basically they were textures missing on a lot of stuff. And do you think it changed? No. No. The general gameplay never changes. There'll be a few little things here and there when it comes to, like, you know, working on buffs and things like that. But generally, the general gameplay itself never changes at all when you have these kind of betas and things like that. Especially, you know, a beta never changes its gameplay. But I think if we could get a few changes here and there, this game could become pretty popular. It'll definitely be popular in the Asian market because, well, Asian markets love to eat these kind of things up. But overall, I think with what we have out now, with Battlefield 2042 and World War III coming up, this really isn't looking good for, you know, being something that I see a lot of you or even me playing in the future. And, you know, because the beta was so limited, I'm not fully going to trash this game and say I'm never going to play it or it doesn't have a future. I'm just saying it needs some changes, man. Like, in its current form, it's not really great. And even the fact that the developers only had the beta go for a few hours, you can't get any sort of feedback from that. I don't know how, as a developer, you expect people to tell you what's wrong with the game or what really needs to change with only a few hours and hands-on. Because, first of all, it takes a lot of people a little while to get the game running and customize their controls and things like that. So for them to kind of be like, all right, here, play it for 4 hours. Okay, tell us how it was. Well, of course I'm going to give everyone's going to give their first opinion and be like, well, it wasn't like the trailer and it's not really what I was expecting and I don't really like it. You can't really be like, well, this is, if you fix this or this gun itself was cool, copy and do that for the rest of the guns like that. You know, you can't really get that with just a few hours of a beta. You really can't, man. And like, I'm all for people, like, especially, you know, smaller companies making games, but it's just like, you gotta give people, like, if you want them to test it, you gotta give them time to test it, man. Like, it's plain and simple like that. Overall, the trailer got me pretty hyped, and the beta kind of got me a little disappointed. But I will give the game the benefit of the doubt. It was a beta. It was not long enough of a time to really judge it. But from what I played, I wasn't too impressed. Now, I will still play it when it actually comes out, and I will play the next beta if they give us more than 4 hours to do it. Because I am interested to see kind of what this game holds and what kind of we can get in customization and things like that once we dive deeper into the game. But overall, you know, the trailer got me hyped. The beta got me kind of bummed. But I want you guys to know, like, tell me what you think. What you think from seeing the trailer to seeing some of the gameplay. Do you think there's a possibility that it could be an awesome game? Would you want to try it? Let me know in the comments below.